Hey, what's up guys, it's Nick2. Today I am joined by a special guest, my cat. He wanted to sit on my desk, so I guess he's here for the video. He just likes to sit here, so if you see him moving around, there you go. Today we're going to be talking about what the best solo build is in PvE, especially for doing like heroic content. Doing heroic is particularly difficult if you're solo, because all the mobs are focusing on you and everything is going to do a ton of damage to you, so I figured I would make a video accommodating you solo players and talking about what the best thing to use currently is. So we're pretty much just going to jump right into it. If anybody needs help making a build, farming, anything like that, you need help farming season pass, you need SHG levels, you just need help getting certain gear, exotics, etc., email me at nick2biz@gmail.com and I'd love to help you guys out. And if you're interested in watching me stream, maybe you want to ask me some questions, you want to see me make new builds, you want to be up to date on what the new meta is and stuff, feel free to check me out over on Twitch at twitch.tv/nick2, where I stream every single day. If you guys like the video, please make sure to drop a like and subscribe for videos similar to this one, as that helps me out a ton. So getting right into it, in terms of specialization, we're going to be running sharpshooter. The reason for this is that we're going to be using a rifle with this build. I know a lot of people, you might not really like using rifles, but even if you don't like using them, if you want to do solo heroic content, this is going to be your best bet, and I'll go into the reasons why. But the reason you want to run sharpshooter is because it gives you can get rifle damage on anything, but this gives you 15% increased headshot damage, which is really good, as well as the stability is pretty nice. Make sure M1A kind of a laser, and then the armor kit's okay, and then getting, headshot damage and whatever. That's pretty nice. So in terms of what you run, there's a couple different things that you can do for heroic. Ultimately, it's pretty much very similar to just an overall DPS build, but the main takeaway from this is that you really want to use an M1A. So the thing about the M1A is that it has insane base damage, to where you can pretty much one-shot almost anything that you want in a solo heroic context. Okay, my cat is crawling around. Oh, okay, kitty, that was interesting. Alright, he jumped off. Okay, sorry about that. So, rifles, or the M1A rather, makes it to where it has such high base damage that you can pretty much two-shot things. And the thing about rifles that makes doing heroic content with them so easy is that you can literally sit at the very back of the map and just shoot at things with pretty much no repercussions. Like, a lot of the time when using like an AR or an LMG, you put yourself in a really scary spot because NPCs will start spawning on you, they'll run towards you, and then once they run towards you, they start coming like behind you and from all different angles. But with a rifle, you can just sit at max range, do all your damage, and if you want a priority target to die, you can just shoot them 2 times and they're dead. And I mean, even though it might not do as much raw DPS or damage per second as an LMG would, it still ends up clearing things a little bit faster, just because of how much like survivability you have in the way of like not actually constantly taking damage and being able to kill certain things that you want. So getting classic M1A is 100% what you want to do. It's pretty easy to get a Baker's Dozen. I have a pretty good one. Baker's Dozen is just the named variant of it. Mine rolled with max rifle, max crit, and I can also roll the damage targets out of cover, so I got pretty lucky with this. I believe you get one at like level 50 in the season pass, guaranteed. Perfect lucky shot is okay, although I don't think it's great. I prefer Rifleman, but other honorable mentions are Strange is not going to be good, but something like Boomerang is pretty good, or Killer in a solo context is pretty good. Other than that, Ranger maybe, if you're purposely staying at a super long range to benefit from Ranger, but sometimes you just can't do that. So overall, I think Rifleman is better, and I'm going to talk about some interactions that it has like with the scope. So one thing that I'm running is I'm running this headshot damage scope. This might seem stupid because you have to aim in with the scope, and this is where like kind of 2 variants of the build come into play. But other than that, you just want a crit chance, and then if you're running lucky shot, you can go reload speed here. But if you're not running lucky shot, I just go +5 rounds. So the reason that we run the scope, I don't know if you saw my other video, but pretty much you can run this talent focus, where increase your total weapon damage by 5% every second that you are aiming while scoped with an 8x or higher. And this scope, obviously, giving 45% headshot damage is huge. Only miss out on 5% crit, not a big deal. But the scope is it counts as over an 8x. What you can do is you can pretty much whip out a Crusader shield, and then you can benefit from focus plus using the scope without actually having to aim in with the scope. So I'll just show you guys a quick representation of this. This is only good sometimes. I wouldn't use it all the time in solo. It can get a little bit clunky, but if you're trying to do the most bullet damage like per hit, this is going to be the best thing for you. But as you can see, I can just swap or pull out the shield, and then I can ADS with this, and then my focus is going to be buffing me, and it's going to go all the way up to 50% extra damage. If you're using an Araldi chest, you can get this up to 60%, which is pretty good. but if you do that, you miss out on 10% crit chance from Providence. So it's up to you if you want to do that or not. Alternatively, you could very easily just not run focus here, and then you can just put on crit chance. Usually this is what I prefer to do because using the shield can be a little janky, but sometimes if you want to get really good damage, this is particularly good to do. And it's really good if you're playing with like a tank. Like, one thing about this build is that it's not only good in solo, it's good all around. So like, you can use this with a group, and if you're playing with somebody that's playing a tank build, you can easily put the shield on, and then nobody will even focus your shield, and you can just keep shooting at other NPCs. So if you don't want to use the focus talent, you can, in my opinion, I would like to run Obliterate. You're not going to have it up all the time, but this is the only thing that's going to give you more damage. The reason that I don't run Perfect Glass Cannon in Heroic is because there are a lot of things that will just do unavoidable damage to you. Running Perfect Glass Cannon when you're solo in Heroic, it's literally just going to get you killed. Like, it's nice to have all that much damage, or all that damage, but it's just going to kill you. So I'd much rather just run Obliterate and have some survivability, and get still a pretty decent amount of damage. Alternatively, you could use like Entrench, or maybe you can use like Spotter if you want to run a Pulse. That's entirely up to you. Running Spotter with a Pulse is pretty nice because having the Pulse is pretty cool. But other than that, if you're trying to get like raw, pure, just a huge like headshot crit, like over 5 mil, then I would go for a Focus. Other than that, pretty much how you set it up is like kind of every other DPS build. Like solo, you want to run Coyote's Mask. More often than not, you'll probably have the 15 to 25 meter buff and the 25 meter buff. So ideally, you want to be stacking like a lot of crit chance and crit damage. Currently, I only have 45% crit chance with my, that's with my Bullet King actually. So let's see how much I have with my M1A. My M1A, I still have the same amount, 45%. So I think that's a pretty good middle ground, to be honest, because if you were to get either of these buffs, it's still a reasonable buff to you. I mean, getting 25% crit chance isn't going to be the best thing for me. I'm only going to benefit from 15%, but that's still a pretty good buff, especially considering that I have, over 100% crit damage on the setup. But yeah, one thing I forgot to mention, if you're running Focus with the shield, I would recommend having one M1A with the scope and then one M1A without the scope so that you can swap to the other one. So like, for example, having a Baker's Dozen in one hand, and then, where'd my Baker's Dozen go? Having one M1A with the scope in one hand and then one in the other for whenever, the shield runs out. So for example, like, I have my shield out right here, and I could shoot with the one that has the headshot damage scope, because otherwise I'd have to actually aim in, and nobody wants to do that. So then whenever your shield breaks, you could just swap to this one, and no big deal. You end up losing, some damage on the chest talent, but without having like Obliterate or something, but really that's not that big of a deal. The only other thing you lose is functionality of a different skill. Okay, so going into the rest of it, you just want like 2-piece Providence, or maybe 3-piece, and then anything that gives you a lot of crit. Then you can go for a little bit of headshot damage here and there if you feel like you have too much crit as it is. Getting 1-piece Cheska is really good. Seska or Cheska, I don't know. People keep making fun of the way I say it, whatever. Seska, Cheska, Meska, whatever that is. Get that. 10% crit chance is really good. And then you can also get 1-piece Sombra, which will give you 15% crit damage, which is really good. That's pretty much just interchangeable with the 3-piece on Providence. And then for your gloves, you would like to get Contractor's Gloves, as these are going to give you damage to armor. But you can very easily swap this out for something else if you want to. But, for me, I just go for this because damage to armor is pretty huge and I have a really good roll. And then you 100% want Fox's Prayer. This is going to give you rifle damage towards rifle, as well as giving you flat weapon damage, flat damage to targets out of cover, which is huge. And then I just have crit damage rolled on mine. If you don't have those, I would try to get 1 piece of Overlord in the build somewhere, and then you can just replace other things that you don't have with like more Providence or a Sombra piece to get you more crit. Anything that gives you crit is what you want. If you want some survivability, you can go, you can use something like Entrench on your chest, and then you can spec a couple of the pieces into armor if you want to do that, or something like that, if you don't have the other pieces, and if you feel like you're dying too quickly. Personally, for me, I would rather just kill things in like 2 shots, but if you find that you'd rather have a little bit more armor for doing solo, that's 100% acceptable. I would just do that. So let's take one last look at my stat sheet here. This is what we got going on. And then if I were to, we're looking at skills, I always run a Reviver Hive, and then of course I'm using the Crusader Shield. But if you don't want to use a Crusader Shield and you want to use Obliterate on your chest or something, I would just use the Fixer Drone, and then there you go. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that this video helped you out. This build is incredible for doing pretty much any types of content. I'll leave some gameplay of me doing the end of a heroic mission. It's like halfway through a heroic mission, just showing you guys how effective it is. If you guys want like a solo AR DPS build or anything like that, please feel free to let me know, and I will make that pretty soon. Alright, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys later. Peace. For anyone watching the video, the gameplay starts here because I was listening to music and I just now decided that I want to use this gameplay for a video, so that's what I'm doing. Thank you for follow, Molecule. Appreciate it, man. Fire in this game is so broken. Almost any of the status effects are pretty broken. Like, you get hit by a status effect, oh, you're dead. Unless you have a lot of hazard protection, or unless you have insane amounts of health, which I don't know. It's really weird that they would increase the amount of damage that status effects do, and then simultaneously reduce how much health you can get on each piece by tenfold. So the max amount of health I can get on a piece is like 20k or something like that. It might even be less than that. Thanks for follow, Savage and Warrior. But then, you know, my overall health pool is 270k, but then fire will do 600k damage to me, and the max amount of extra health I could get is like at most like 100k or something. Yeah, like let's just lower the health pool you have, but then not compensate in any other way, so you just die. Have fun. Just don't get hit by the status effects, forehead. Just play better, you know. Just don't run through the invisible fire. Don't get hit by a nail gun. Don't get hit by throwing knives, you know. Because you can just do that, Cap. It's just that easy, Cap. It's possible I'm missing a mod in one of my pieces of gear. Okay, I'm not good. You have your own team? Yeah, I have my own clan. Or not my own clan, but I'm in a clan with people. Thanks for follow, Captive King. You died to a grenade that did fire to you. You took 2.5 million damage in 2 seconds. Yeah. You know what I have to say to that, dude? Get better, Kappa. Just avoid the fire, you know? That's what they want you to do. How much fire do you think this will, or how much damage do you think this will do to me? Well, that's not going straight to my health, but walking into that fire for a second did half my armor. What's up, Kappa? Get good, exactly. Just get good. Am I an idiot? Where am I supposed to be going? Oh, here we go. It's been a while since I've done this mission. Pipe over the door, I got it. Oh, loot? I'm rich! Do I need this picture drone thing? Oh, duration? Might be better than what I have. I have like no good skill mods at all. I'm an idiot. I was actually already over there. My favorite thing about status effects is that half the time, like, they break your Reviver Hive. I understand the reason for Reviver Hive to be, like, to have the ability to get broken, so it's not always just, like, the default choice, but I know it feels pretty shitty to have something that's on, like, a 6-minute cooldown, right? And then it happens, you die, you expect it to save you, and then it just, like, gets stomped on or, like, randomly just blows up, and you're just like, why am I using this skill again? More often than not, it will save you though, but the fact that it doesn't is a little sad. Where's the... over here? Watching my new CPS build. Got your bullet king yesterday as well, so I'm trying to find gear. Only finding crap items, yeah. Well, hopefully you can get it set up, man. Named item? Max roll. Oh, accuracy, dude. Best roll. Don't more people spawn in here? No? Okay. Oh, dude, don't dogs end up spawning in this mission? I think dogs do. I'm gonna put on... Look, I got the big brain strap for the dogs, right? You guys ready for it? Oh no, I think I put that weapon in my stash. No. I'll choose Bullet King then. For the dogs. I was gonna use a Negev with steady-handed. Remember actually being really good for SMGs, and Div 1 is still good to use or useless. So SMGs currently, like, they aren't worth using that much because their optimal range is really bad, their accuracy is incredibly bad, and usually their RPMs are incredibly high, which means that you're reloading a lot of the time rather than being able to do damage. But the main drawback is just that you have to be like super close range to be able to utilize them. And even then, if you aimed only at the head, the accuracy is so bad that you won't even hit like 50% headshots, and the headshot multiplier built in is also lower than any of the other weapon types. So SMG's kind of like just got shafted from PvE, or in a PvE context. What is this, like RP thing on me? Okay, chilling now. Hello, Maya. There's no dogs. I think there's dogs when it's Black Tusk. So the boss will spawn over there, yeah. Actually, should I just camp in the middle here?
I'm safe for now, but I don't think
You're safe? Yeah, you're walking through walls. You're nuts. I'd hope you'd be safe with superpowers.
they're coming.
It's safe. I got a broken M1A. Don't worry. All these red bars, so spooky. I'll probably die from somebody suicide bombing me just for saying that. Yeah. Oh, dogs are in challenge. I think dogs. I'm in heroic. I think dogs are just there when we mounted a gun. No, 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 no. I think dogs are just there when it's Black Tusk. Why is this RP? Yeah, I see the boss. Don't worry. Oh, that's right. Doesn't it like take a while for him to come out or whatever? Yeah, yeah. There's one room where there's like 7 dogs when it's on invaded. That's a fun time. I want to kill all these dudes spawning before he spawns, but I think they just endlessly spawn. I'm not sure how that works. Think he can get foamed? I want to try it, but gotta clear ads. If I don't kill him fast, it might be a little spooky with all the ads. I should be able to just beam him in the head, though. One can only hope. This is where it gets a little spooky, you know? Oh, we're fine because he's dead. Alright, cool. Yeah, if he survived like a lot longer, that would have been a little scary. Anything good? I guess I can try out Preservation. 20% armor on kill, pretty much. This is a crazy roll, to be honest.
If you hadn't have shown up when you did, I'll head back as soon as the escort team arrives.
Anything good? Max weapon damage mask. Might need it, I don't know. Anything but the M14 build is obsolete, to be honest. What do you mean, the M1A build?